Okay, so in terms of climate, Elgin is interesting because we talk about climate in a rather vague term, in invoking temperature as its main metric. But in fact, here in Elgin is interesting because we are firstly at an altitude of about 300 to 500 meters above sea level. We're also extremely close to the sea, which means that we are moderated in our temperature. Obviously, the altitude moderates it by cooling it down. And then outside of that, we then, because of the fact that we're surrounded by mountains which peak up at about 1,000 to 1,500, we actually have a particular climate within the dome or saucer of Elgin itself. That is largely represented by the fact that we have a large amount of cloud cover. For those familiar with the Western Cape, we get the Cape Doctor, which comes through in late October, November, and lasts through nowadays with climate change to about early February. And the point being is that means that it moderates the temperature, ameliorates it somewhat. But in this area, we tend to get a lot more cloud cover, which has an impact on lowering the temperature to start with, but also avoiding so much UV light coming into the wine, into the grape canopy. That grape canopy is important because that's where your sugar reserves and your whole functioning for your grapevine happens. And without that canopy, or rather without the temperature, you will get a much better phenolic ripeness, but you will get less grape sugar ripeness. So that results in wines that don't reach the high alcohols that we've become so accustomed to with climate change. They are much more moderated at around the 13.5 rather than the 14.5, 15. Outside of that, we also receive a large amount of rainfall. This region is renowned for high rainfall in excess of 1,000 millimeters per year. And even during the drought years of 17, there were still about 700 mils. And that has an impact because we don't just get the rain in the winter, we get it throughout the year. And that ameliorates the temperature as well as also giving sustenance to the vine itself, in meaning that we actually can have better growth and longer growth. On the downside, we do obviously get a little bit more disease pressure, but if we can moderate that by opening the canopy and doing things that you can't generally do in South Africa, then you can actually work extremely well with what is a stunning area for growing grapes.